Manasnanavate. So, as we all know that the Indian Constitution is one of the most prominent among the world. So, we, the citizens, are the responsible one to protect it. Our country is a socialist, secular, and democratic country. So, 26th of November is celebrated as National Constitution Day. So, we, the National Service Scheme volunteers of GMVHSS Thalangara, are here to present before you the famous articles of Indian Constitution. The Article 12 to 35 of the Indian Constitution deals with the fundamental rights. Right to equality, which prohibits the discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, race, sex, gender, and place of birth. Right to freedom of speech and expression. Right against exploitation, which prohibits all kind of forced labors, child labors, and also traffics in human beings. Right of any section of the citizen to conserve their language, religion, and also their customs. The right of minorities to establish and propagate their educational institution of their choices. Right to constitutional remedies for the enforcement of fundamental rights.
Here I am going to discuss about cultural and educational right. Cultural and educational right provide under the Article 29 and Article 30 of Indian Constitution. It helps to protect the linguistic culture and religious rights of all the communities. It helps to preserve the culture and heritage of all the minorities and communities.
Part 5, the Indian Constitution Union. The executive power of the Union shall be vested in the President and shall be exercised by him directly or through officers subordinate to him in accordance with this Constitution.
Part 6 states Article 153 Governors of the State, Article 154 Executive powers of the Governor, Article 161 Pardoning powers of the Governor, Article 165 Advocate the General of State, Article 213 Powers of Governor to promulgate ordinances, Article 214 High Courts for States, Article 215 High Courts to be court of record, Article 226 Power of High Courts to issue certain writs, Article 233 Appointment of district judges.
Part 9, the Panchayat. Every Panchayat, unless sooner dissolved under any law for the time being in force, shall continue for 5 years from the date appointed for its first meeting and no longer.
Part 14, Services under the Union and State. The Constitution of India provides for the creation of all India services that are common to the Union and State. Presently, only the IAS, IPS, and the IFS have been constituted as all India services. The officers for all the services that are recruited and trained by the Union government and served by the state government as well as center.
Freedom of trade, commerce, and intercourse. Power of the Parliament to impose restrictions on trade, commerce, and intercourse. Restriction on legislative power of the Union and of the state with regard to trade and commerce.
Article 11 in the Constitution of India 1949. Parliament to regulate the right of citizenship by law. Nothing in the foregoing provisions of this part shall derogate from the power of Parliament to make any provisions with respect to acquisition and termination of citizenship and all other matters relating to citizenship.
Superintendence, direction, and control of election to be vested in an election commission. No person to be ineligible for the inclusion in or to claim to be included in a special electoral roll on the grounds of religion, race, caste, or sex. Election to the House of People and to the Legislative Assembly of every state shall be on the basis of adult suffrage.
Part 18 of Indian Constitution. Emergency Provisions. It shall be the duty of the Union to protect every state against external aggression and internal disturbance and to ensure that the government of every state is carried on in accordance with the provisions of this Constitution.
Part 17 of the Indian Constitution. Every person shall be entitled to submit a representation for the redress of any grievance to any of the officer or the authority of the state or union in the languages which is used in the state or in the union, as the case may be.
But these rights are not implemented in a proper way. So we, the citizens of India, are the responsible one to protect our constitution.